ventilator helping him breathe, shunt coming out of his head to release the pressure in his brain, IVs everywhere. His hands were strained to the sides of the bed, and a big cotton bandage that went down the side of his head, starting at his forehead, crossing his temple, and ending just above his ear. I was supposed to believe that was my dad lying in that bed. My dad, the farmer, his hands still calloused from the day's work he had already put in. My dad, the coach, the one who taught me how to hit a baseball and how to fish. My dad, who would burn popcorn at 2 o'clock in the morning just so he and I could have a snack while playing pool and talk about life. Looking at him laying there was just like looking at a badly battered shell of my dad. 3 days after the aneurysm, Dad awoke suddenly and was himself. Our whole family was in the hospital room and he wrote to us. Unable to speak, he would give a nod of his head when we were right with our guesses or wrong. After a line of writing, he was getting frustrated because my mom couldn't guess right. She then had him slow down, and she said the single letters out loud. B-R-A-I-N-D-A-M-A-G-E. My mom then burst into tears. "You are not brain damaged," she said. A nurse in the room even reassured her, saying to my dad, "If you can spell brain damaged, you can't be that brain damaged." Afterwards, he was holding my hand and playing with the rings on my right hand. Almost ripping them off, I kept asking him if he wanted me to take them off, and he shook his head no. I think now he thought he was going to die, so he was trying to memorize what they felt like, when I was the one trying to memorize every line of his hands and the color of his eyes. He went downhill after that day. He never really opened his eyes again for a couple weeks, and 3 weeks later he suffered a stroke. It was 37 days in the intensive care unit and 30 days at a rehab facility before we got him home for more therapy that continues today. As a child with a parent with a disability, it still hasn't hit me yet. I know the reality, but I have my days where I think of him the way he was before the aneurysm. I think I need those days, though. And there are moments when he talks to me that I hear his voice, instead of the usual mumbles that I have to decode. His short-term memory is what has really been affected. He doesn't always remember where I am, and he's still learning the date and the year. I've come to the realization, as hard as it is, that good and bad things happen to everyone. You just have to keep living. I'm just lucky that he's still here, and I have a dad to give me